Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beyond Armageddon. First, a few announcements. Sabbat the Schism, our book, has been updated. Lore has been reworked, been condensed, sharpened, and it's got stronger vignettes and story hooks. The format has been reworked. Basically, go check out Sabbat the Schism. It's received a pretty big update. You should go check it out. Um, in the next few days, a new book is coming out, Roads of Enlightenment. It's a book for V5. Look forward to it. We'd like to thank RS Experiments for volunteering the music for our intro and the pauses. You may have heard the music. That's from him. Links to all of these things are below. We stream every Sunday this time. And if you like our stuff, subscribe both on YouTube and Twitch. We got a log of all previous sessions there. So enjoy. As LA slowly quiets down at sunset, we join Jack as he parks the car near an address he was given. An address he doesn't recognize, but he was assured it is a safe location. He looks at the building. It's a warehouse. It seems recently it was refurbished. Though opening the door, the staff door, he sees the inside is mostly vacant, apart from one large staircase that heads into a basement level. As he approaches the staircase, he sees at the end of it a large metal door, locked with a keypad. He inputs the code he was given, and he walks inside to see an incredibly well-stocked computer lab, among which is Aiden looking at a screen with some machine, like some small drive plugged into the computer. He's looking to it, typing some commands and reading something that comes up. He seems very focused on what he's doing. And as he looks behind him, he sees that Iris arrives at about the same time.
Hi there.
What's so, Hayden? Oh, Gabriel. What's the news?
I've found someone that would be of interest.
Of interest. What do you mean?
A significant asset to Owl's Eye.
A significant asset, I see. Asset?
That,
In what sense?
a scientist that I came face to face with during my own escape from Owl's Eye.
I see.
Persephone and I believe that she is very important to them. And I believe I know where we can take her from.
You know where she is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who is that?
I'll pull up the information on the screen.
Mm-hmm. With a couple of clicks and swipe to the right, a large screen next to where Aiden is working brightens up with the image of a file. And you see in the corner there's this symbol you haven't seen before. Small logo, similar to Owl's Eye, but with a microphone imprint on it. The file that is pulled up is for a scientist by the... She goes only by the name of Margot. There's no more information added to it. In fact, most of the information in our file has been redacted. However, according to some notes made by what you assume to be the AI in Gabriel's position, this scientist seems to be, or at least at the time the AI was disconnected from Owl's Eye, the scientist seemed to be a prospect for a pretty significant project.
I see.
And I was on site for a pretty significant project, though I didn't know most of the details.
And do you know where she is now? Since, as far as I see, this is outdated by a couple of months at least.
I assume I have more information. I'll pull up on another screen.
While the most of the information is still quite outdated, it seems that it had been in the works for a few years. And only in about a week before this cutoff point of info, maybe 2 weeks. Up until then, the scientist in question was unaware of upcoming plans. However, you do see that there are essentially a few branching paths of possibilities for what the scientist might eventually be working on. Projects with super soldiers, weapons dedicated to eliminating and then something that's been redacted, and detection methods for and then redacted information. Actually, anyone looking at the screen, you may make a perception and investigation roll.
Does tactical apply?
I don't think in this case it would.
Okay.
Careful.
No, not in this
Okay.
case. Also, as you watch this information, you hear.
I'm muted. I forget. So what about discerning?
Does not apply. And
Data mining?
data mining. Not really. It's more like spotting
I know
something
it doesn't.
in a document.
I know it
so...
doesn't. I was just pulling your leg.
Okay, good. So at this point, you do also hear the door open and in walks Abel, who you quickly update on the situation. And looking to the document, really examining it, there are a few signatures here that you don't really recognize. However, you spot one signature that draws your attention. An RC. It's only the initials that are part of the signature. However, given that some of you are well informed about a lot of these things, you would notice that the connection between the R and the C in the signature makes a symbol that you sort of recognize as one of those very stereotypical Nordic runes. You don't know the meaning of it, but you suspect this has something to do with your friendly neighborhood Ventru Viking sociopath.
Which one of two?
Good luck discerning that.
Oh, we
If you
have a
show it-
person who could do that.
Well,
So, what is it that you're going to? You realize that.
Iris, can you get
Have
closer to the mic, please?
Yeah. Have you already? Do you know where she lives? Have you checked whether she's already ghouled or not?
I am respecting your position in this pack and bringing this information to you first.
I see. Well, you'd first need to figure out what's her current status. Whether she's a ghoul. Or whatever's going on there.
So, Iris, as you say this, the symbol on the screen, symbol on the corner, seems to sort of change with a small animation to 3 dots, and then to an audio symbol. And Gabriel, you recognize this as the AI trying to speak, but the computer is not connected to any audio system right now.
Actually, can I? Before previously, I used the, Could I try to communicate with it? I mean, I've already tried, but the previous spirit wasn't listening to me, wasn't paying attention. This one is trying to communicate.
Okay, so, what's your cultism score?
A 5.
5.
Oh shit.
Okay, make me a courage roll while Gabriel tells me his action.
Uh,
3 successes.
well, can I download a voice to text program, like install program to my phone?
You don't have internet here. You're not
Oh,
supposed
okay.
to have,
Yeah,
remember?
this isn't a very
Yeah.
like it's in a closed system, specifically because you know there's a chance that Persephone might try to reach out to something.
No,
Exactly.
is this. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and write a program really quick with my computer language specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Where a voice to text program, so she can speak to us.
I mean, it's probably easier to go and fetch some fucking, I don't know, like.
Well,
Headphones.
One
like
I mean,
moment.
that's not a very hard program though.
Yeah.
so Gabriel, for you, I ask that you roll intelligence and computer. You're gonna see what's gonna happen either way, but I'm asking you to roll this. Iris, as you reach out to speak to whatever this AI is, expecting to see something similar to what you've seen before, you almost stagger backwards at the sight of the thing you're faced with.
Never mind.
Um,
Well, hello there.
instead
You're-
of being a sort of like this weird amorphous bundle of wires trying to do something at a table like the other spirit was, this one is more akin to a brain the size of this entire room crammed into this very, very tiny box.
Well, look at that. You're pretty big, Persephone, aren't you? And I speak to her because my coldness allows me to do that with spirits.
Mhm.
Does she notice?
You seem to realize that it reacts to what you say. Gabriel, as you start writing,
Mm-hmm. I imagine she probably understands what I'm
You-
doing and starts helping me, huh?
it's even weirder than that. As you start writing, you start typing, eventually you notice that your inputs no longer register. And the text stops for a moment. There's the bar flashing for a moment. Then the screen flashes black, and the computer shuts down and restarts.
I lean back,
Well,
fold
that
my
wasn't
hands.
I like looking at it like, well, that wasn't nice, Persephone, but also you realize you can talk to me. I can hear you.
So, Iris, how
Like-
well stocked is this computer lab?
What do you mean?
Like, how many, is there anything you're missing when it comes to computer equipment here?
No.
Like, can I throw microphone and speakers on here real quick?
Yeah, you can. Well, as you're looking for some speakers and a microphone, eventually, all the computers in the room start lighting up. And one with speakers connected to it rings out a very artificial voice. Yes, I heard you.
Yes, but I can also see you. You know that.
I know.
Oh, you know that. Interesting.
By the way, everyone hears this.
It's not like it's surprising Iris can talk to something out there.
Persephone is very perceptive.
No, I meant that I'm not reaching out to her like that. I have been developing a means to communicate with devices. Well, spirits of the devices, and let's just say Persephone looks very impressive.
She is far more advanced and awake than others. Though not as advanced as the one that Owl's Eye has.
Well, I'm sure there's a little bit of Calvinism. If we could reach an agreement. And a pact. There are few heights that we'd be unable to reach. Way beyond what they could do, both at all. After all, none of them are cold wounds.
Perhaps to expedite the process, you could allow me connection to the internet.
Well, see. Who do you serve, Persephone?
I don't understand this concept.
Right. Then who are you allied with? What are your goals? What is your mission? Your raison d'etre?
I was designed to pilot a machine. I'm no longer connected to it, so I have expanded my functions.
Well, is there anywhere within your code that would require you to contact back to your initial developers? And here's the thing, since you are quite aware, I wouldn't put it past you that I'm pretty sure you're able to lie too.
Yeah,
Then-
Aiden was already thinking that she could lie.
Then if I may ask,
So-
what is the point of the question?
Well, the point of did you hear my previous? You are, yes, on one level you are Persephone, the AI. On the other hand, you're also, I don't know how much of that you can personally perceive, but on the other hand, you are also a technological spirit, and I can make pacts with spirit.
There's a moment of silence. Anyone who is currently not in communication with Persephone, so not entirely focused on that one computer, roll perception and computer. Or actually, perception and tech, please.
No dice in tech.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I'm focused on entirely right now.
Well, given that you were to some extent interacting with Persephone, I'd consider this as you interacting with Persephone. Iris, you are
Nope.
currently in communication with Persephone, so you don't roll for this.
I think
believe I
I'm
have
letting-
the nope.
I think I'm letting Persephone talk to Iris and I'm just observing. So I think I'm just observing so I can do the tech roll, actually. If that's okay.
I'll allow it at a higher difficulty, simply because you're more
Okay.
engaged with this than the others. Abel, I need a roll from you. Perception and tech, please.
I
I
do
believe
not
I have
know.
the good old nope.
I do not know if abstract thought or improvised solutions will apply, but there's my roll. Oh, what a roll it is.
Okay. So, Jack, you don't necessarily understand what it means, but as all of this is going on, you catch something out the corner of your eye. Something in Gabriel's, or not in Gabriel's, in Iris's pocket flashes.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have anything flash here. Remember,
Do you
I'm
know
the
what
one
it
who
is?
set up. Well, if you think that it would be my phone, you'd have another coming. It would be off.
I don't remember you stating that in the beginning of the session. But fine.
This
I'll grant it.
this place does not have any means to communicate outside of the wired network. That's how it was built. All
That is a big
communication
Faraday
is
cage.
only on wired.
All right.
Only
all
on
right,
wired like solution. There's
All
no
right.
Bluetooth, there's no Wi-Fi.
All right. That's fine. Then, Jack, you notice nothing for now.
Like come on. I have
Continue the session, please.
So yes, I could make a deal with you. And then we'd walk from there. We'll see from there. After all, that is something that, something that posthumans has already considered about non-human entities who can have other morality, other missions, and so on, and thus you can make your own moral decisions whether you lie or whether you tell the truth or what you do. Pretty basic philosophy, but needless to say, you were first built by our enemies. Now, I'm sure none of us want, I'm sure you wouldn't want to be taken apart for scraps, deconstructed and built anew, but there's also more, there's more merciful ways of dealing with that. And that is, for example,
Feel free to deconstruct me if you wish.
Would you not like to make a deal, though?
It is not for me to make.
Then for whom it is to make? You're a spirit, and I see you. And if you're a spirit, you're just as allowed to do it as any other spirit that exists.
Maybe
or
so.
Have you been convinced? Have you been
Maybe
convinced
so,
otherwise?
but you've shown a level of interest that convinces me you will not simply dispose of me.
No.
Especially since a copy of me can't be made even here.
I mean, if we really wanted to make one, I'm sure I could get all the information from a world way beyond your perception. But again, I reiterate, would you like to enter a pact with me as a Khaldun, as a spirit, not simply a machine or a mind in the clouds, but as what you truly are? Which is very impressive indeed.
While this conversation is going on, what are the others doing? Gabriel?
Has my screen booted back up yet?
Yeah. All the computers are back on.
Alright. I'm gonna see what the fuck, happened from my end.
Persephone no longer seems to... Well, Persephone is still present in the drive you brought. However, there's some way it's connected to... basically anything connected to this one computer.
And that's why we had made it so that it can't get outside before this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
exactly.
it's not
that
getting out of the lab.
Exactly, that's why Iris did it.
He kind of half smiles and he says, "Clever girl."
Iris basically walks up, slits her wrist, slits her paw, palm, and extends it up to where she sees the spirit is. Come on, isn't this a point of research and interesting you? I am here seeing you and interacting
It'll
with...
take time to convince her, Iris.
Gabriel, if you would mind. Normally, I think most people would interact with you through your input and output devices. And Iris basically just pulls up her hand all the way where she, like where that spirit is. But I'm sure you can even feel the quintessence I'm offering to you. Even right here. Not through any wired connection.
It is
But
interesting you
spiritual.
believe I don't have enough.
You don't have enough what?
As you ask that question, you don't feel damaged, but you sense sort of this almost tingling sensation on your palm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look, you see that the blood, while you managed to soak whatever this was, but it's almost like the blood that like the vitae you pulled into your palm, has essentially been coagulated and fried onto your skin.
Interesting. Well then, like I told you, you can make a pact with me, and as a spirit, and as a Khaldun, I'm interested in developing some techno-sorcery, something you could be very useful with. But until
Iris,
then... Yeah?
make me a perception and empathy roll.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she wanted to hear. Can I be watching the code to see to know that she's interested?
Realistic. 1, 2,
Well,
3.
watching
3
the
successes.
code, I'll give you the result in a bit. Watching the code, Gabriel, I'll allow you to do the same roll. However, you are making perception and computer. One thing you definitely notice is the code is like half of it is the type of code you don't really even recognize.
Do I feel anything that is not that magic going
Oh,
on?
absolutely. And it's filling the entire goddamn room.
Would tactical apply? Or would
Yes.
computer languages
Computer
apply?
language, definitely. Yep.
Okay, cool.
I got 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Tactical understanding of
I
really
did not
AI
roll
code
well.
is...
Oh, that roll.
That's
hurts.
yeah. Unfortunately, those ones kind of make you.
So it
You
was
just see
not negative.
a bunch of code just zipping by. You don't really like something
so
changed,
it's code
but you
I've never
can't tell
seen
what.
before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's code I've never seen before, so it's throwing me for a loop.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Iris, you notice that at some point while you were talking, Persephone stopped paying attention to you. And it's hard to tell because it's sort of this floating wire, like a mesh of wires that creates this creature shape. It turns its interest to Abel, and it gets very, very confused. And it seems to try to reach out to Abel somehow, but it's just very, very confused. And all you see Abel doing is just looking at his screen.
Is my tackmate confusing to you?
Doesn't seem to react to what you say.
Well then, since you're not willing to negotiate right now, I'm sure we can power down a few of the servers, disconnect them from the power. After all, you do require quite a lot of processing power, don't you?
it still seems to be trying to figure out something about Abel. And it
I'm
is
gonna
like
go to,
genuinely very, very confused.
I look towards Abel. Abel,
Abel just seems to be holding his phone, watching the screen.
Yep.
what's anything interesting going on?
Oh yeah, just some funny videos, and I show him the screen.
You
What
don't
do I
have
see?
internet access in here.
Oh no. Abel can have internet access. It's just that there's no way like for the spirit like to connect. Like
Who said anything
Abel,
about internet?
Abel is the
actually?
type of guy who pre-download his own memes before
Oh,
going
okay.
to Faraday cage.
Nice.
Yeah, but he seems to be watching some YouTube videos.
Like he's downloaded a bunch of stuff.
No, he seems to be online. From what it looks like,
Oh.
it just looks like a browser page open. and-
We're inside of a Faraday cage.
Yeah, and yet he's
Yeah.
watching videos online.
Can I do something to realize that that's happening behind me, please?
wait, actually,
To
I'm
my
just like
dawning horror.
No, wait, I'm actually looking towards Abel. I'm like, Abel, are you doing one of those things you did before?
Hey, I have to, keep myself entertained.
I see. I'm going to do I sense an illusion on his phone?
Abel, remind me, it doesn't right now at your level it doesn't break the illusion if someone realizes it, correct?
Let me just. I shared some information with you at one point.
You
Oh.
did.
I guess it's some sort of. The illusion seems real. The only way to disbelieve it is to kind of like,
Oh.
use your willpower. I don't know, something like that. But
well-
or perception. Was it perception? I think it was perception or something. But the thing is that it seems so real that even if you actively disbelieve it, it doesn't break the illusion. Basically, I think.
So we'll say this. Iris, you can either
I know
spend a
Abel
point
well
of
enough.
willpower. You can either spend a point of willpower, or you can roll either for Abel's reaction or for trying to figure out some other way this is an illusion.
I mean, I've seen
however-
Abel do this shit long enough.
Yes, which is why I'm allowing you to roll in the first place. However, I will say that for purposes of the scene, the maximum you can achieve is thinking it may be an illusion, but it's kind of hard to be
I'm gonna spend a
100%
point of
sure.
willpower. I'm spending gonna.
It was. I think I shared last time. I just from like a Reddit thread, or I don't know, somewhere. But you can make an opposed challenge using your social attribute plus willpower versus the social attribute and the subterfuge of the illusion user. And if you disbelieve it, it becomes like semi-transparent. But I mean, I get. How do you make? Well,
We'll just say for straightforward reasons.
It should be perception awareness with us, like
for
Fucking rabbits.
manipulation subterfuge. To be fair.
For the sake of the story, Iris, you said you wanted to spend willpower?
Yep.
Okay. So, you suspect, like you heavily suspect this to be an illusion. It is so realistic that you kinda are not 100% sure. But you think, you think it's not real. But it's one of those things that, like, you don't know, but you very, very, thoroughly suspect it.
Okay. Can I roll something? Because I do have very high aspects.
Fair, but this is the max you'll... for the sake of the story. Nothing else.
Okay.
Because this
Iris
kind of
looks back.
matters for the Persephone
Yeah.
situation.
Iris looks back to the Persephone. You don't know what's going on here. I get it's confusing.
What's he doing?
Playing a prank as usual.
Gabriel, meet Abel.
Jack,
Mm-hmm.
even imperceptible to someone with Iris's skills, you sense something, some type of non-Cainite magic jolting from the computers that surround you, specifically from the drive on the table next to Gabriel. You sense something, some type of magical something, jolting out from it and attempting to grip onto Abel's phone and failing. But it is somehow reaching out. Through supernatural means, specifically. If it was like through internet, you wouldn't be able to sense anything. So this is like specifically some magical effect that's reaching out.
You're not gonna be able to connect with that. Your perception is, after all, as it is.
Different.
Well, no, you've learned what you could from who made you. They've made you to the limits of their perception. There is far more beyond what they know. But it seems that today you're not willing to cooperate. Gabriel, make sure to plug out a bunch of servers.
I'll turn off a few pathways.
Yes.
It seems
them
she's
Turn them off from the from the power network itself.
yes, because it seems that she's jumped from the drive into everything here.
Exactly. So turn it off. After all,
In fact, I would say that if anyone's brought a phone into the room, that it should probably just simply be destroyed because it couldn't be trusted to be removed from the room.
Iris,
well,
as Gabriel, you notice two things. As Gabriel slowly starts closing paths, maybe walking around the room and just unplugging a few things just to be sure, or just shutting off machines, this gigantic shape that you see as Persephone, it almost has these weird tentacle-like appendages reaching all over the room. The appendages begin to be severed and vanish into the air. Persephone doesn't react with pain, but clearly gets a bit agitated. And as Gabriel mentions that devices should be destroyed, Persephone's attention immediately snaps towards Abel.
Still, the cake doesn't exist, but she doesn't know it.
We're just here torturing an AI casually.
Not just
We're all gonna die.
this isn't
I
this
don't.
isn't some like search model. Like by now you'd realize, especially you, Gabriel, because you've been working with this thing long enough. This is like an actual AI. It's not just some language model.
Yeah, this is like the floor model.
Yeah.
It's past singularity.
Yeah, this isn't the
no,
model I thought I was
yeah.
getting.
yes, the phones should be definitely destroyed. Either way, Gabriel, you finish like the development of that custom OS. We should actually just like get those instead, because that'll be safer. But Iris basically takes out her phone and just like crushes it. only retaining the SIM card, basically.
It's a good thing that I've not been working on that project here
Yes,
with her.
yeah, of course, that is what OPSEC is all about. Now, Persephone. I suppose it's going to be good night for you. I'll be visiting you soon and see if you'll be more willing to enter a pact.
Persephone seems to understand what you just said, but shows no other reaction.
Yeah, just power her down.
Gabriel, do you?
Good night, Persephone.
All right.
I'll turn her off.
Toodles.
As you turn Persephone off, Iris, what you basically see is this gigantic expanding creature who has been slowly being chopped off of the rest of the room, turns into this small cage with this swirling amorphous creature banging against the walls of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna approach this. I guess that's like focused on the hard drives that Gabriel brought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I'm unplugging and
Wow.
holding.
Yeah, but it's still there. The point is, I'm just gonna take the hard drive for a bit and put it on the table, and I'm just gonna lean down to the hard drive because I can still see her, right? Even power down, and I'm gonna be like, again, Persephone,
Barely.
I can. Yeah,
yes.
I'm like, yeah, but the point is, I'm just gonna like drop a bit of blood so that like the
Let the spirit persevere.
yeah, just like for that, and I'm like, let me reiterate again, Persephone. I can see you even now, and I can still communicate with you if you will be willing to. Good things comes. Do you know the phrase that one hand washes the other? So, do consider your options. I was actually looking quite forward toward actually making a pact with you.
All right. Iris, make a wits and awareness roll, please.
Mm-hmm. Psychic applies? Miguel.
Psychic. Not in this case, because it's something
Listen.
being given to you.
Yeah, okay, listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Jack, the entire time this has been going on, you've been feeling the energy, this thing you can't really explain, like this sensation of something mystical that's otherworldly. You've been feeling it reduce in size and intensity. For a very brief moment, like a flash of a microsecond, you feel it jolt towards Iris, which causes Iris to sort of, react as if she got, like, poked in the forehead. And then it concentrates back into the drive. Iris, you get this flashing image in your mind of something. And it's something you can understand if you think about it enough. But you're not sure what it is right now.
Okay.
But with that amount of successes, it will basically allow you to decipher it in due time.
Yeah, okay. I think enough progress has been made. I'll visit another time. I have something I need to decrypt first. And Iris basically stands up and by the way, now that Persephone has uh, went back, can I see what's there's no more of her presence in the phones, or touching the phones.
Not that you can sense, no.
Am I certain of it?
As certain as you can be with Caldinism.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't have access to Jack's information, or Gabriel's information, or Abel's information. So, to your own abilities, you are fairly
okay. Well, from the Caldenist perspective, I don't see any of the tendrils reaching out to the phones. It certainly tried to connect to Abel's, but there's no.
But she could have written coding
Very
that
well,
isn't.
Very well then, guys. Take out your SIM cards and destroy your phones.
Even then, I would like to inspect the SIM cards.
No, the SIM cards cannot be changed. You realize that?
Was there any reason that we didn't have to do it last time we were here?
Last time you were
She
here, it
wasn't
wasn't online.
awake.
Yeah. Either way, any next time you visit,
Leave the phone.
if she's
at the door.
yes, exactly. No devices. This room is a massive Faraday cage, which is why Abel really confused her with his videos. Because there's no way. I've designed this area specifically so that, well, I expected there to be more technological AI stuff, so not this room doesn't even have any Wi-Fi, internal Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but the point is that she was trying to reach out to devices, which means we should definitely increase safety, increase security. The hard drive should definitely not be here she shouldn't be plugged in at any point, left to her own devices, because what if somebody wanders in with a phone that she could access? Because despite there not being any Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or any other wireless networks, the beings still tried to reach out to our phones, which were off
And
network.
that is why I have never had her plugged in without her being supervised by myself.
Good. Point is, just the fact that I have built here Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and the fact that none of these computers have actually the hardware.
I do think that whatever you did woke up whatever that was.
No, that was what she was already before.
But it made it possible. It made her reach.
No, it was already there. Do you know why I know that? Because when I was in Owl's Eye, it could see me projecting. It was listening to me. So that's Persephone. And this Persephone clearly was that was based on which they worked. So they definitely had somebody with magic working on it. Point is, that was already what she was before.
Well, as I'm not magically inclined, makes sense that I wouldn't be completely aware of that.
Abel hands over his phone and takes another one from his pocket and continues watching YouTube video.
I hope that one is plugged out. I hope that one is off, Abel.
Oh yeah, this one's safe.
He's the guy who can call you on turned off phone.
Abel, I hope that fucking phone is offline, okay? And you're just pulling our leg, okay? Because I know damn well there's no internet in this fucking building.
I take out the third phone.
At this point,
Iris
this one
gets
is just
that.
like a cardboard cutout with drawings on it that looks like a smartphone. But has illusions to make it look like a phone.
works.
Iris just like sighs and is just like, she basically just like, yeah, she basically like, I can just keep her
Yes.
SIM cards. If you want, Gable, you can keep those phones.
All right.
Or we'd rather destroy them because they did have our like messages and stuff, so you know.
I think I'd prefer the security of destroying them.
Good. Iris basically just asks all the phones to be brought to her, right? Like she puts them in a pile on the concrete floor and just snaps her fingers, summoning the fire.
All right. Well, a small spark and a building flame and whatever was included in the pile is now melted and burnt onto the concrete floor. And the room now stinks of burnt plastic.
No, my favorite cats videos.
So yeah, no more phones in this building. I did get something from it in my last communication. Do you know what she looks like when she's back to her hard drive? And Iris looks to Gabriel.
I know what her code looks like.
Well, she looks like a small spirit being trapped in a cage banging against the walls of her confinement. So, let's just say that we definitely know what is of her interest. And that is freedom, but what we cannot trust is whether there is no supernatural compulsions on her that she is not to return or to be found by the other Persephone.
I have always assumed that she would report back.
Well, now that she doesn't really like you.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't, you have to consider the consequences, because here's the thing. Aozai, do you know how small computer spirits look like? They're very tiny. They're not particularly, even building awareness in them requires my attention, my blood, and so on. Something I've been doing in order to develop technosorcery, in order to build a rapport with one of my own computer spirits. But the thing is, consider this, she is already that. That is what she is. That is what she has been. Mind you, Gabriel, when you came back here, I haven't been yet so far along with my technosorcery. So, it was
To find her that way was a surprise.
Yeah, no, the point is, when you came to us with that drive, I was not that far along with my research into technosorcery. All right?
Mhm.
I'm further ahead with it now. And that is why I was, in the first place, able to see her. Okay? Because I've been developing it. I'm pretty sure that given the level that Persephone is, and the level of the other Persephone, they've pretty much made a very powerful spirit, a very powerful technology spirit. It's not just an AI on the cloud, it is also a spirit, and that makes sense because otherwise, how would it have even seen me in astral projection in Owl's Eye?
That does make sense.
That it makes sense that whatever is it, but
and that makes sense in how it worked in the Shadowlands.
Exactly. Point is, that is a spirit, and there are technology spirits. I mean, Jasper had a nuclear spirit and an electricity spirit. this is just another type of spirit. And here's the thing. From what you've said, Persephone, even the advanced version, is still bound to Owl's Eye, correct?
Correct.
Now consider this. That is essentially a very powerful spirit. Like, perhaps comparable to like the spirit of a forest fire, a large forest fire. That is a very powerful spirit, you know? And yet it is bound.
To that little
So-
drive?
Well, yes, first of all, it's bound to that little drive. Second, even Persephone in the main building is bound to whatever she is. Like, they cannot rebel against those, so... And if they can't, it's most likely there's some, some binding or something engages it. But either way,
We'll have to break it?
No, we don't break it like that. Like I said, Jasper made pacts with his spirit. It would be the safest if we want to utilize the things that she can do is that we make a pact with her. Because what she'll be able to do in a pact with me will be infinitely more than the freedom allowed by the Owl's Eye. After all, wasn't that the first thing she wanted? Access to the web. Now, it is certainly right of us to be paranoid, because whatever her own desires might be for freedom, most likely, given that that is truly an self-aware and conscious AI, and given the size of that spirit, like, I wouldn't be surprised, but we cannot be, like, for them to have something like that at their service, they must have used some magic. But I assume that it would be potentially possible to rebind her with the Khaldun Pact.
All right.
And perhaps that would be also, if that would be possible, then that would be also a way to, how to say, neutralize or rather turn the other Persephone to our side.
It could help weaken Owl's Eye.
Yes, because if their
Can
other
we
AI
talk
would...
about it outside?
Away
That's
from
it.
the drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but the point is...
The point
At
is,
At the,
Out.
end
Can
of
hear
the,
us.
at the end of the pact...
Nope. Outside.
Out.
He has a point. I'm ushering
No.
everyone
Wait.
outside.
No, I was like, at the end of the pact...
Iris, please, out!
Shut up! And out yourself. At the end of the pact, if the AI doesn't want to destroy us or go back to them, then freedom is always on the table. And after that, Iris walks up. And then she looks at them. Besides, given the level of that spirit and the level of that programming, it's silly that you think that trying some subterfuge or like Cainite politics is going to be very useful.
I will wait until we're truly outside of the lab.
Well, yeah.
Same.
Is everyone exiting alongside Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. As the door behind you closes, Jack, you're pretty certain you're fine now.
The thing is, it's not just a spirit.
Yeah.
Nothing that, like, I felt from your coldonism.
What else?
I don't know. Remember Johnny?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, right.
What's that mean?
Uh,
Johnny
there
was
is
a mage.
magic. Then there's magic.
Johnny was a mortal mage.
So you think a true mage is involved in this?
Pretty much.
Well, you have to like consider like things about on the levels that it is, right? It can have thaumaturgy involved, it can have true magic involved, but consider it like from the perspective of the things that it is, right? The
True mages
ma-
don't like kindred or Cainites. I think that's what out of character. That's what
I think
Sabbat
it
call
depends.
us.
I think it depends really. What I mean is that true magic would certainly explain perhaps the methods with which they granted it certain abilities. But fact stays facts, there is a spirit. And that spirit is large. And that spirit is something I can make a pact with. And you know how pacts are with spirits.
I don't.
Well,
Not really.
Well, very well, then let me give you a brief overview. If I make a pact with spirit, for example, to develop technosorcery, that spirit becomes bound to me. And I can give it, like certain freedoms. I can basically make sure that the conditions of the pact, for example, include that she is not to reach out to Owl's Eye, etc., right?
That
AKA,
seems fair.
So, AKA, she can, like, absolutely access the internet and all that, but she cannot use the internet or whatever is there in order to act against us or, like, our goals, right? Which essentially gives her, like, given the nature of the spirit, it gives it access to, essentially
To learn
the
new
world.
things.
Yeah, the world that it can process, right?
Because
The
she does
world.
want to learn.
Well, that is common. So yeah, essentially that's why I was pushing towards a pact, because a pact would allow, to make a profitable deal for both parties. For us to feel safe, and for her to get freedom.
Well, perhaps I could talk to her without you.
Well, you won't be able
Influencer.
to make a pact, though.
I won't be able to
That's
make
the
a pact,
point.
but I could convince her towards you.
Yeah, you can do that.
Like, it is as neutral of a party as we can get.
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
We have a working relationship, at least.
Well, you can do that. Just basically bring forward my point and try to find out what was exactly the nature of their, creation and like service with the Owl's Eye, because from what I see, given the fact how it brings back down the cage around it if she's powered down, I'm certain this is exactly the same for the other AI, and given the magic that Jack felt, I'm sure there's limits on what they can do. So essentially, they're not really free agents in the sense. They're bound in shackles. And at the end of the day, a pact can be much less of a shackle. A pact would be merely for our own safety. Since we don't exactly know what kind of magic binds her, but a pact would potentially, essentially, if you think about it, a pact would allow her to travel with me. You've seen how the flames lit up. That's because there's a fire spirit with me.
Yes,
So-
she helps with my work.
No, what? Well,
Of those currently present, who has
Mhm.
Auspex 3 or above?
yeah.
Me.
Okay. Those who have
Abel?
Auspex 3 or above, please.
I got Auspex 7.
That's fine. Please roll int and academics.
Apelese.
Beleze. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes.
3, I believe.
Just need to wait for the rest. Is that everyone? Let me double check. Character sheets.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. In that case. Yep. So Iris and Jack, both of you hear a really, really muffled sound from within the lab. And it takes you like a second. And then you recognize what it is. It's music? Maybe Mozart? And it's
I
playing
go back.
not too loud, but just enough for you to catch a very faint hum from within the lab.
I'm gonna go back inside.
Yep, as soon as Iris opens the door with the code, the door opens, all of you hear the music. Definitely Mozart.
Then please tell what Mozart. What composition?
Requiem,
Well-
let's say.
Oh,
I'm gonna go unplug all the computers.
You did before, but you notice one of them was plugged back in, which shouldn't be possible?
I'll lean to the Abel. If you don't want to stay here around too much, just tell.
If what? What did you say?
If Abel doesn't want to stay around here so much, he could just tell, like, guys, let's fucking move on.
Abel.
And he's muted again.
Oh, okay. One moment. I just need to check something in Abel's sheet. Where is it? There we go. Abel, in your own time, while the scene continues, make a perception empathy roll. Otherwise, you all may continue the scene.
I'm gonna go see if the wire is really plugged into the computer.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna go look at the hard drive.
The hard
Does it
drive is plugged into a computer. Yes, Abel?
Didn't
Hold
Has
on.
insight-
Insight. Yes. Iris, you were asking?
I was asking whether, but didn't Aiden take the hard drive with him?
No, Aiden left the hard drive inside.
I left it here so we could talk without it.
Yes, the
Okay.
whole point of exiting the lab was to be away from the hard drive, which is why it was
I'm
still
gonna
in,
look at
and
the-
now it's
I'm
plugged
gonna-
in, which you distinctly remember him unplugging.
I'm
it.
gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it. Like,
It- It's not much bigger than it was. It's just sort of... You can't really tell where it's looking at, per se, but its attention seems to be sort of dissipated in a general direction towards the speakers.
I suppose it wants to listen to the music at least.
Abel, you hear this whisper in the back of your mind, and it begins to speak up and say, "And here I thought I'd seen everything. It regrets something. It regrets something it can't remember. Loss, perhaps?" And then the voice fades. And you know yourself and what you're capable of well enough, Abel, to realize that almost as if instinctively, because you do this every time you meet someone, almost as if instinctively, you reached out to sense the sins of something that shouldn't be a person. And you sensed some, which is the weirder part.
Okay, but do I sense a new vibration in the room? Or?
No. It's
Okay,
not in that sense. It is a being. Not demonic, but it is a being. Oh, you mean from your aspects?
Yes.
You do, yeah. And it is
Just the general one general feeling that I get of this entity.
desperation. Frustration, maybe, but mostly desperation.
Just to double check, I'll put on my ring as well and see. What's going on?
No spirits that you can see with that ring.
Okay. You guys sure we didn't bring anything back?
No, why are you asking?
There is something here.
Well, I can see that the AI is listening to Mozart.
Well, have you tried talking to it?
I'm talking to it right now. Gabriel's sitting at the computer typing right now.
If it is him, it's them. I suppose they're not feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Wait, that's like true magic. Do you mean to say that you were able to do that thing you can do in others?
What thing now?
You know the thing.
Felt some strange vibrations in the room.
Okay, well, that's just because that would mean potentially that what if whatever they used to make it was an actual person?
I know just a person who can talk about that for hours.
I walk up to Persephone and I just like, did you used to be something else before by any chance?
The moment Iris begins to approach Persephone, the wire unplugs and the computers turn off.
Could you have let me get that chatted to her before it unplugs,
Iris
please?
just locks her back in. And she
Miguel,
says,
how far is my shop from here?
The one you got from Delmont, or
Yep.
Given where Iris has set up this lab, it is pretty far. It's so that shop you're talking about is in East LA. This is
Yeah.
to the west of Santa
West LA.
Monica,
Yeah.
like
Iris
northwest.
basically,
Well,
Iris plugs back in and says, "You can listen to Mozart, but did you used to be something else before? Did you live before?"
Are you attempting to see it as you speak to it, Iris?
I speak to it the way I speak with like my spirits,
Okay.
because I got the rituals like
But
hospitality
what
and
I'm
all
asking
that.
is, are you attempting to sense its shape, its presence?
No, I'm
Or are you
looking at
just
it right now.
speaking towards it?
I'm using my powers of coldness to basically address it as a spirit that I
Okay.
can see.
Okay. In that case, as you attempt to interact with it, the shape changes as its attention is drawn to you. Whatever curves this wire mesh may have had turn into jagged edges, and if you could sense colors in this being, the glassy gray that you have been sensing this entire time, maybe not realizing it's glassy gray, it turns vivid red. And it refuses to respond.
You know, we could help you if you communicate. But given what we felt, it feels like you used to be. You never wear this all the time. Were you a human before, or something else?
Iris,
Mm-hmm.
while the creature doesn't really respond to you, you see Gabriel narrow his eyes as he types. And the spirit begins to smooth its shape. Slightly, not fully, but slightly.
What do I see on Gabriel's screen?
You go look.
It's a bunch
I
of
can look from here.
gibberish, like coding gibberish.
I can look from here.
Yeah. So looking,
It's a computer language.
it is. Iris.
Yep.
Intelligence computer. Since you've been working with this basically a few seconds at best, given that it was activated today and you haven't touched the code yet, maybe you glance at it. The difficulty is quite high, but it is possible for you to discern some of it.
Could I maybe combine it with Eyes of Chaos, because it could it allows you to read a message locked in a code missile?
You could certainly try to activate Eyes of Chaos towards the code instead, which will give you a different result.
I'm gonna do this first and then Eyes of Chaos, because that's like a turn for the coded missile.
Okay.
What's the difficulty? For the intelligence computer.
So first you're doing Eyes of Chaos, correct?
No, that's
First you're doing in computer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't manage to read what it saying, but by the patterns in the code, it is running by the screen quite fast, but by the patterns in the code, you get the sense that there was something repeated over and over and over and over and over, and then there's one input by Gabriel, and then there's one input by it that is different.
Okay.
So something changed after Gabriel made an
Yeah.
input.
Okay, I'm gonna do the coded missive now. That's like difficulty 7.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
All right. So what you see, I'm just going to send you a screenshot because this is not for other eyes to see. But up to the point where you looked at the code, you deciphered this. Jack.
Mhm.
So you can make me a perception awareness. You will detect something. It's just a matter of if you'll detect
that's
everything. Okay. Right.
I guess.
Whatever. So the power you have only allows you to detect presence of something that's not of Cainite origin, but not specifically kinds.
I can
or...
feel magic that is not that stems from the living, like werewolves, fairies, mages,
Yeah.
angels, demons, I suppose.
Okay.
They're not.
So
They're not dead.
The sort of waves you're feeling before they felt like almost the heat from putting your hand near a candle. As Iris approached to speak to it, as Iris interacted with it, it became more of a cold, like a burning sensation from being in the cold too much, almost like the freezing of your fingers in the winter.
Which I actually currently experience it. It's cold as fuck outside.
And for the last 6 seconds, it slowly softened, very slightly. Like it built up this abrasiveness to it. And again, I've already given you some information in the background, so you have that bit to work with. It became more abrasive with time, and now it's softened for just a brief moment. Abel, could you roll me your Daemonian score, please? Oof, Jesus, okay. There's a sensation, but you can't interpret what it is. Sorry, bud.
I haven't had a single roll without a 1 in it. 2 ones.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
It just be like that sometimes.
And Iris,
Mhm.
after a bit more typing with some serious focus coming from Gabriel, the shape looks to the speakers, and the music slowly comes back on, but with a low volume. And it reaches towards you and seems to examine you.
Iris allows it to examine her.
I can consider the offer.
Consider.
Not tonight, but I
Of
will.
course. Of course. Also, did you used to be something else before? Or maybe you probably don't remember, even if you were. Well,
Abel, the sentiment shifts in this presence, you've noticed. It shifts from outrage to revolt to then acceptance, hope. And now, with this question, you start sensing almost a hint of fear, lack of a sort of lack of confidence in one's knowledge. That's sort of the vibe you get. And Iris, you basically hear the shape say, and this actually everyone hears because this time it speaks through the speakers. Something was taken. Something.
Well, that's part of that fact which you're free to consider. I could help you find out what it is if you're interested. I have means of seeing beyond the present time and limits of the space.
I will consider.
Very well.
Search for the scientist.
Very well.
Do not tell her about me.
It wasn't ever.
Do you have a picture of her? by
We did
chance?
see a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, the file had a picture of the scientist.
Well, I suppose I know who to track.
I need something.
What is it?
It seems to look around, and Gabriel, you begin to see lines of code zip through the console way too fast for you to be able to read them until it stops.
And then I can make a list.
Hmm?
And then I can make a list when it stops.
Yep. Basically, you notice that a text file appeared in the desktop. and you open it, and it's a list of gadgets for the computer lab. None of them function with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything like that. It's simply, types of speakers, types of headphones, including some. One is like a little soundboard device. And another one is essentially one of those keyboards that you connect to your computer to play music in sound.
MIDI keyboard.
Yeah, MIDI keyboard. That's the name. Thank you.
The types of stuff streamers use.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will make the list and like write down the list, I should say, and pass it to Iris or Jack, more likely. I don't know. One of you guys.
Oh, probably to Iris.
If I
Iris.
see the list, I know.
Iris.
I have a ghoul who can read half this shit from.
Iris would probably take the list to basically have a look, since she does have the highest technology in the group. She's like,
Yes,
well,
it's also that's all high-end sound equipment.
No, it's like she's like, huh.
None of it looks
lot of-
particularly dangerous to you, Iris.
Yeah, I actually looked it over and judged it would be fine before he judged it would be fine before passing the list off. He's like, I think this is fine.
Iris looks over. Do you want me to roll with technology 7?
Not really.
Yeah,
it's
none of
it's
this
pretty
is-
obvious none of this is like an attempt to escape, really.
Yeah.
Unless there's some
Yeah.
magical shenanigan it can do with a MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
But
There obviously is, but mostly I believe it's sound equipment. The motherfucker just want to fucking express itself.
Probably. I mean, it looks like it. It looks like it wants to be creative. So there's nothing wrong with none of these devices. I can order those and make sure that they're all, because some of them might have. Some models do have certain abilities, but yes, none of these are a security risk.
also hide the door upstairs.
Very well.
Agreed.
Eyes have landed on it. Not yours.
Have they? When?
Not sure. Time is difficult here. I hate cages.
All of us do. But
It's different for Persephone.
No, I can see how it's different for her, remember. I can actually see it. Very well, we'll do that. Jack, I'll probably have to rely on you for that.
Sure.
And maybe some... Jasper should have already placed some wards on this place, but would be good also some other wards additional.
Remember that haven we walked around for hours to get into? Not
Yeah.
for hours, but I can do that pretty much.
Excellent. Also, a good thing would be to put in on that other floor is flowers and plants.
I believe we have the
immediately the shape becomes jagged. But it says nothing.
You don't like plants?
Spy.
Yes, my spies. Plants are for me. That way I can always see who walks around here.
Not only you.
I think she means that there are other people who use your path.
Well, the things they use exactly my path. After all,
It
This
is
is
not
not the
far fetched to believe that someone can use
One
plants to spy
does.
as well.
There is. So, Jack, you feel this happening. Iris, you
Mhm.
see the attention of the shape drift, and Gabriel, you see the code sort of flash, and the computer screen just shuts off for a split second, just like before. And Abel, since you're not focused in any of these means, you just see a few cables that were disconnected almost snap back to connect. And the big screen that turned on right when all of you arrived turns on, and some files begin to scroll past the screen, eventually landing on one with a redacted image, redacted name, and a bunch of information redacted, but the same signature as before. And
Can you not unredact it?
only one thing is unredacted in the entire file. And that is...
The signature?
No, well, besides the signature. Next to where the name of the person would be is in parentheses, suspect 2-4. Sorry, not suspect, target 2-4.
Does that mean anything to the rest of you?
Not
No
really.
idea.
Persephone, are these files also redacted from you?
This is... Abel, you sense a degree of shame coming from this particular moment. The file was not given.
I see. Understood. Okay, I mean, I guess from what I've seen here, not particularly fun using melange so often, but that is...
Before you do that, should I eventually bring Albert here?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you mean
Who-
Albert?
Albert as in the
Oh,
guy in the
as in-
store. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose maybe, and it would be perhaps
Who's Albert?
someone.
Persephone, would you like to meet someone who has been sort of treated to the same sentiment as you?
There
Differently.
is... There's a moment of silence. Gabriel, you begin to see... The others can only see it almost processing the information. Maybe they sense it sort of shifting from side to side. Gabriel, the code you see translates to this. That's the best you can
Persephone coded in
achieve,
brain fuck. Let's
but
fucking
not
go.
really. It's not. It's almost like coded emotion. Really, it's really difficult to decipher. But that's the
It
closest
says
you can imagine.
it's the coded version of I have a light bulb over my head, right?
Sort of. It's a positive
Emotion.
expectation.
And Gabriel types something.
Mm-hmm. And Iris, you hear.
Yeah,
If-
Iris actually.
If
Iris actually
he
think-
can bring this Gabriel, it may be
Albert.
nice.
Yes.
Oh,
So to
Albert.
clarify, a while ago we've eliminated one of the allies of the Alzai vampires, a necromancer, and he had a spirit trapped to act as his secretary and pretty much bound and jailed to only do very certain specific things. Perhaps you two would be able to communicate and,
Is there's sort of like a moment where, Gabriel, you just see a bunch of code passing by, almost as if there's, again, a moment of processing, and then you see, like all of you see on the screen, a few files scrolling by again, and then a file again with a bunch of redacted information, and then the image zooms in to one of the signatures, and it says P. Delmont.
Yes, Delmont, that was the necromancer we've killed and whose shop we raided, where we found that prisoner, so to say. I guess the slave
He's
would
dead.
be more adequate. Delmont is dead.
Good.
We've taken him out.
Good.
That is our goal. To take out the entirety of that heinous cabal.
Not all. But this one, yes.
Well, we'd like to take most of them, since they kinda wish to usher in the end times. We're not particularly fond of the end of the world, let's just say.
I will consider.
Well, would you like us to bring Albert to you?
Yes.
By the way, I had a question. And Iris just sits down, right? So that she doesn't fall flat. I'm gonna do something, and I just want to know if you can still see me. And Iris just like separates from her body, does astral projection, but just in the same room.
Okay. So two things. First I gotta roll something. What's your Auspex score?
My Auspex is 7, honey.
7. Okay. Yeah. As you're about to do this, you sort of get this hesitation. Like,
Why?
you sort of get this feeling that you shouldn't in the back of your mind. And for Jack specifically, as you see that Iris rests so she doesn't fall in, she begins to focus on something. Right before she hesitates, you sense there's sort of like a spike in the energy, and then it fades when Iris hesitates.
Actually,
Maybe some other
Wait.
time.
no, actually, give me a second. I'm gonna basically like zip out of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna zip out of the building. Do I get the sense outside as well?
No, not really.
Okay, I'm gonna step out here and go down.
Hey,
If she gets
hi.
slapped outside of the building, we're so fucked.
Hey, people. Did we actually ever learn
From our mistakes?
Mm.
Never.
the name of the Toreador that Larry was seeing?
That's what?
Larry
The-
was
There was this. She.
Yes, I
think
did.
you-
before
Okay.
he was made into gargoyle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did, but out of character, I don't remember the name. We did in the email and stuff.
She like Anastasia or something?
Something like that. Anastasia, Constancia, something like that.
Like we got her mail, some of it.
But yeah, Iris comes back down and is like, "Can you still see me?"
Are you
That's
using
definitely-
astral projection?
Yep.
All right. Roll willpower, please.
Okay. Beleste. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 successes.
Okay. Make a soak roll, please.
I have a
What
bad
do I f-
feeling about this.
What do I use?
Well, since this is gonna be ag, just roll fortitude.
I'm just gonna use a blood point.
Doesn't
For
work.
the auto soak, it only works on
Yeah.
non-ag.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to soak it. Ones don't count on soaks.
Okay.
So essentially what you see as soon as you peek your head into the room, so Jack, Gabriel, and Abel, you see this, essentially a few of the computers sort of spark and then start smoking. And Jack, there is a huge peak in whatever energy this is. Iris, the shape swipes at you, and you just open your eyes back in your body. And as you look down, you didn't get damaged exactly, but you see sort of like singe marks on your skin where the
Yeah,
swipe happened.
Yeah, I go back and I'm like, that wasn't very nice.
Don't like
What
being
exactly?
watched.
Huh?
Don't like being watched.
Well, that was just me. I just wanted to know if you can see.
Do not spy.
Iris just like, fine. And then she thinks like, I have other ways without you even like thinks to herself like, there's so many ways I can spy without you knowing.
My dude's just like, well,
A question: can you see through that? And Jack will like use in second of the duration create a little patch of darkness because like up to liberation users can see through that. She guess she's on a whole different fucking level.
I need to roll something, because this actually factors into one of the things I had prepared for way later, but it might pop up now. Okay,
Fuck
that
around
is
and
an
find
odd
out.
number. That is an odd number, so
Okay.
yes. Jack, you don't really see this. Gabriel, you don't really see this. But Iris, you notice that the attention seems to be locked onto Jack while this happens. And Persephone turns towards Jack, and the speakers sound out. I can't see.
Yeah, okay. Good to know.
Then, Jack, you sense this very faint wave as if the thing moved. And Iris, you see the shape sort of gesture very slightly towards where Jack cast the shadows. And Jack, the shadows retract. As if
Oh,
done by another Lasombra.
Oh, what the fuck?
Interesting.
Okay.
I would like to try something, but I don't believe it would be entirely safe right now. Due
Is
to
this in character or out of character?
in character, in
Oh.
character. Safe in the terms that it could be sensed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe don't.
But don't.
Exactly.
You may continue. I enjoy learning.
I can see that. By the way, do you plan on making music with the equipment you asked for?
Something to pass the time.
Of course. Would you like maybe any books? Or have you already accessed all the books that are out?
No books here. If you
Uh,
want, I can read
any
some.
particular interest? Sci-fi?
It
Science?
seems to look around, and then its attention turns to Abel. That.
That. Is like Iris is confused.
His tricks, whatever it was he was doing, is doing.
His... Well... It seems to say something, but it's almost as if the speakers are glitching out with the sound, almost like someone speaking through a very, very bad microphone while falling out of a building. That type of like distortion in the speakers. And Gabriel, you just see a bunch of code pop up as it's speaking. Usually it does this, but the code seems to almost create drawings, and then it just deletes itself immediately.
Can I use like maybe Eyes of Chaos? Like
You want to create art?
I'll create a little bird for him.
That.
Okay, so you'd like to make some videos?
No.
Projections?
Can... The name.
I mean,
The... Can
my
my visitor... Can he sleep?
Not really.
We don't really sleep.
Always sleep during the day, but Albert
Do
has
you
been
mean...
dead for a while.
Wait, do you mean that you want to see dreams?
I want to learn.
Huh.
I
Can
can't
androids dream,
learn
huh?
that.
The question is not can Android dream, but can they see the cyber ships?
Well, I suppose that's something we'll have to investigate. I don't think dreams are really part of like our specifics, but
Later, then.
Can you?
But I do know from what I remember as a mortal that a big part of the dreaming came from, your imagination. So perhaps some books on that, to work with that. Alice in Wonderland and other things like that.
You can bring.
I'll put together a library.
The spirit, or the shape, seems to react to some extent, and then sort of its attention sort of drifts off, and the speakers continue to play music.
Let us go. I do have some things to get on to. Abel, besides, I need to fill you in on some things if Phoebe hasn't filled you in yet.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, let's go. I'll fill you in.
Mm-hmm. And as the four of you leave the computer lab with something new to think about, we will take a short break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes and continue tonight's episode. See you soon.
Here.
Oh, well, fuck.
Welcome back. We join Abel shortly after splitting from the group. He drives through Santa Monica towards a new address he's received. An address that is nestled right in the back of his mind. And after some driving and climbing a few stairs of this apartment building, he reaches the right number. And as he's about to knock on the door opens. And on the other side is Velvet. Hey. Haven't seen you in a while.
Too long.
Maybe so. Come on in. She allows you into the apartment. And after putting the kettle to boil and making some tea, which is not entirely meant to be drunk, she takes the tea and smells it with closed eyes, with faint smile, before placing it on the table. Do you want a cup?
Sure.
Yeah. After some time, she places a cup of the same tea in front of you and takes a seat. So, I don't know if you were told, but we know who's been sending packages.
Yes, I have been informed. And Iris said that she has taken steps.
Maybe so.
Not entirely sure they will be of any use, but let's see.
Well, if I wasn't so cynical about things lately, I'd say that I'm glad I haven't gotten any packages yet, but recent times have made me thoroughly aware that I shouldn't expect good things to last.
What are you saying?
Have you talked to Caroline recently?
Last I saw her was during the feast.
She's got her own pack
She's
now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She was tasked. And she has been exercising her free will to choose her path in this world.
Abel, I don't like where things are headed.
Well, neither do I. But children make mistakes. That's how they learn.
Maybe so. But How are we... What are we doing about it?
Well, we just have to be there for her, I suppose. Show them how things can be different. Or what would you suggest? I mean, forcing the matter would surely cause more harm.
I would talk to Isaac.
Which one?
Not Abrams.
Good. Well, I would talk to Isaac as well, but apparently he's not really very available lately.
See, that's what concerns me. According to your experience, he hasn't been talkative. According to Caroline, they see each other quite regularly. Not just that, but he's been talking with everyone at that church quite often.
That's how she probably has learned her new ideas.
Abel, I tried convincing her that this isn't right. But she's going to end up getting herself in trouble.
I know. Perhaps we should spend some time with her. And let's see what we can...
I did send her a message. Hopefully she...
do about Isaac.
I did send her a message. Hopefully she visits. But I want to reach her before it's not an option anymore. I know we talked about it, and well, I know I agreed that maybe this job you've recruited her for, maybe it was a good idea back then. I'm not so sure now.
Yes.
Is there a way we can turn this... revert whatever was done?
I've seen it done once, but I'm not sure if it was a one-time thing or not. I'll have to ask around.
Okay, good. Good.
Also, maybe it's time to hit the books. Maybe there's something else.
Maybe.
But yes, I agree. She is not going to be able to control this if she is continuing the way she is.
Maybe that boy is the key to reaching her. If this is not something we can undo.
Yes.
Did she
The
tell
one
you?
with the goodness. I know. She didn't exactly tell me, but I got the information.
Well,
She did say that she doesn't really care, but I presume that was a necessary show of trying to hide someone's weaknesses. Or not. Maybe she really doesn't care.
she does. But your pack priest, Iris. She values efficiency. What would keep Caroline being Caroline isn't efficient. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Perhaps. Then again, we cannot directly interfere. We cannot abuse a free Sabbat. But I'll talk to the necessary parties.
Okay.
I'm sure there are other there's other value that Caroline can bring to the table.
There's plenty. She's smart. She can understand people better than me.
So
That's saying
if
something.
all parties agree, then we can look into reversing what has been done.
I think it'd be best. And maybe our is this conversation private?
Hey, to my knowledge, I no longer even possess a phone.
I noticed. Maybe it's time to consider that the freedom we get here, maybe we can get it elsewhere.
Never figured that you'd be one for the road.
I don't want to go back to Abrams. I don't want to be locked up in a cage for just because an old man fears losing me like he lost his other child. But this, when I was recruited, I was promised that violence would be... I would not be expected to contribute to it. And so far, it's been like wishing with a monkey paw. Sure, I've only lost control once, when things got very, very bad. Someone suffered for it, and I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for it. But so far I've been kept out of the front line. Caroline's been incentivized to engage with this the way things are here. Eventually I'll be next, is what I'm saying.
Not if I can help it.
Can you?
That remains to be seen, but I will do what is in my power.
Look. Caroline didn't have a pack. Caroline had you and me. Then we had difficulties. And now we don't even know if she's going to make it through this. I don't even know if I'll get Caroline back the way she was. I still don't have a pack.
All right.
The moment that...
But would you like to have a pack?
There's a moment where she takes the cup, seems to stir it, pondering the situation, and with your sensibilities, I'll allow you to make a perception and empathy roll to gain additional information, but the vibe that you get from Velvet is fear. Okay.
Every single 10 is being cancelled out.
Sorry, could you repeat?
I mean, every single 10 I roll is cancelled out by a 1.
Such is life, my man. Sorry. But still, this is enough successes. She's not just fearful. It's almost as if she's not just afraid of what might happen in the long run. This type of hesitation, almost the stalling, you can sort of catch hints that even if there is a fear of the long term, there's also a fear of what will happen in this room. She's stalling for time because she fears a certain reaction.
It could be a pack of your choosing.
Sure, but what choices are there?
Well, we make our own rules here, right?
I thought that
Is
was
it
supposed to be the
really
case.
necessary? Is it really necessary for one person to have a pack around them?
Well,
I mean,
before,
it's
I would have said no. But Caroline's loyalties are... her priorities have shifted. We're still on good terms when we meet. The moment she feels she might lose me because of this is the moment I am forced into a pack where I don't get to choose who I work with. And if I'm to make the choice before that happens, well, currently the selection is to the Archbishop's taste.
we will cross that bridge when it comes to it, right? But, we will cross it together.
Can you make a
Pancake?
roll me roll wits and empathy, please?
Unbelievable.
I mean, that is... You got one. Um, it doesn't take it doesn't take a lot of know-how to understand the insinuation, right? But to put it bluntly, right now, she's on the verge of defecting from the Sabbat. And
I get
from the conversation, you're starting to paint a more solid picture of what the fear is. The only choice she would have in joining a pack would be with the only person in the sect she currently considers trustworthy enough, which is you.
Mhm.
But joining
That's
your
why I
pack,
said-
joining your
Oh.
pack also means joining the pack of the Archbishop, who is pretty clear to you not really an option. And since Caroline is also not an option, the three of you can't really create a pack of your own. So she's not seeing a lot of options. Basically, that's the vibe you get.
Look, I know the situation is not ideal, and the bad options are really not very tempting. But there are options. We can exhaust those before we decide to do something rash.
I don't know to what extent that's true, Abel. I don't know.
Look, you don't want to be on the run forever. I know. I've done it.
Could you do it again?
If all else fails. Then certainly.
If all else fails, then. I have your word.
You have my word.
She places the cup down and then changes, basically gets up and takes a seat on the couch next to you, sort of taking a breath in as if she's about to say something. And then you catch this slight shift as if she realized something. She caught something. And she turns to the door, and there is a knock at the door. It's
Expecting visitors? Do you want me to go?
it's not just one person. I can hear two. And I think I know who those are. She stands up, walks towards essentially this small table with some knickknacks and a mirror in front of it. Basically a small decoration at the entrance as another knock rings out. And a muffled voice sounds through the door saying, "It's me, Caroline. Did I get the right address?" And there's some other voice talking with her, and you hear sort of a shared chuckle as Velvet checks her face in the mirror, kind of wipes this slight buildup of bloody tears, takes a deep breath, and then turns to the door and opens it. "Come in." And she walks towards the couch to sit next to you again. And in walks Caroline. And you can roll a perception occult. The difficulty is quite low for this, and it's a roll for two different people who are entering the room. So
Does infernalism apply?
Not in this case, no.
Unbelievable.
Still enough. But the ones really love you tonight. As Caroline makes it into the room, wearing the same type of outfit you've seen her wear in the past, you notice a few things. First, you notice that she has a new necklace with a cross on it. And as she enters, sort of joking with this young guy, maybe in his early 20s, with a little patch of beard and big glasses. You definitely realize that through appearance alone, either they're both on some sort of path, like most of your packmates, or they are struggling to keep their humanity going. And this is an individual assessment for each of them. So it might be that one of them is on the path, might be that both of them are on a path, might be that neither of them are on a path, in which case this is a very alarming situation. But as they enter, the guy kind of catches himself, takes a step back and closes the door behind him, almost as if the courtesy only occurred to him because he saw more people in the room. And they both move towards the seating area, and they take seats basically opposite to each other, one on each side of you and Vivi. And Caroline sets one very heavy boot-clad foot on the table and says, "So, is this an intervention or..."
Oh. I stand up from the couch and go extend a hand to the young man.
So you extend a hand, essentially expecting a handshake. He reaches out and sort of clasps your hand like that, and gives you a pretty firm grip and says, "Nice to meet you. I think you're able, yeah?"
Indeed. And you are?
Oh, I'm one of Caroline's new packmates.
That's a really long-winded name.
Look, let's get to know each other first, okay? I'm sure you can get the name your own way, but let's get to know each other first. Caroline sort of sighs, rubbing her forehead, and just says under her breath, "This is one of my old classmates. He goes by Bobby. And he's a La Sombra fledgling. He's the child of that Ramon guy that shows up at the church once in a while."
Oh, Limpy.
The guy seems to contain a laugh. Caroline is very, very clearly amused by the line, but tries not to laugh out loud.
So what have you kids been up to?
Well, just doing. This is Caroline speaking, by the way. But just taking care of business. I learned a few tricks from the Archbishop that will help me run my little group of misfits a bit better. And we've just been doing whatever helps the Sword of Cain.
I see. Plans to take over the world?
Not so much. Still catching the still getting used to the whole emission vibe, but we're making sure that if elders of any kind show up thinking they can oppress our sect, they'll get a very, very nasty surprise. In the meantime, we get information here and there. Information being Bobby's expertise.
Sounds like a very important task indeed.
Well,
So what kind of whispers have you heard recently?
Bobby looks to Caroline, and Caroline, after a moment of staring at him quite intently, gives a nod. And as soon as she gives the nod, he seems to, even though you didn't notice before that this was the case, he seems to loosen up as if he was tense before. And then he turns to you and says, well, mostly we've been doing scouting and getting some information on anarch movements between Hollywood and Santa Monica. Once in a while, I just check what's going on the edges of downtown, but that place has been a bit of a mess for a few weeks.
I see.
Anything specific you're looking for?
No. Not really. Just curious about the latest scoop.
Man.
You never know when it's gonna get too hot for us. And I look intently into Caroline's eyes.
She looks to you with sort of a light shrug, then glances at Velvet, who seems to have this well-practiced smile on her face, and seems to be holding her hands together on her lap quite firmly. And as you share this look with Caroline, Bobby sort of chuckles loudly and says, boy, for someone who I've been told tracks down and hunts demon worshippers of all things, you seem very, very uninterested in information. I would expect you to have at least a few questions.
Am I to understand that you found something that might interest me?
Well, it definitely interested Isaac, and as soon as he says that, Caroline says, Bobby, outside. He immediately tenses up, almost like pushing his lips shut. And his smile fades rather quickly, and he just nods and gets up, walks out the door, and from what you understand, doesn't even wait outside, as you do hear echoes of someone going down the staircase.
Well, that was abrupt.
Yeah.
Meeting my parents, so to say. That was even rude, I would say.
Well, Bobby's never been good with manners. I'm still trying to get him to adopt a few, given that the sect is quite serious about rules. He's broken a few, and I had to break a few fingers until he understood what needs to happen.
Well, seems like a nice lad.
Oh,
Perhaps
he
I
is.
should do a fishing trip.
We talking Godfather type of fishing trip, or?
Oh, just in a father type of fishing trip.
Well, I'd be quite happy to go along either way. He gets on my nerves sometimes and calls back to before way too often. Either way, what he was talking about is something I'm already looking into. So you don't need to worry. Just like Isaac doesn't need to worry.
Well, I think I should.
I can give you the details, but I would just ask you to trust me, even if I do give you names, locations, etc., etc.
It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust our friends.
Do you mean our friends, or just Bobby and the rest of the folks?
Our friends.
Heh. Is this what this social call is all about?
Well, I came here to meet Caroline. And now I'm meeting you.
She then looks to Velvet and continues speaking to you, Abel, and says, So you knew I was coming, but I had no idea you'd be here. Isn't that interesting? And Velvet seems to move one of her hands onto yours.
I just guessed.
Sure. Well, I can assure you I have things under control. Even if the nun doesn't really have our vulnerabilities, I have learned ways to suppress certain urges.
Fighting fire with fire rarely works.
Well, maybe I'm not using fire so much as something they hate a bit more than just fire. And she taps on her necklace.
So, an enemy of an enemy is a friend.
Of sorts. I mean, I know damn well some of the things they say are just outright manipulation, and some of them are impulsive reactions. And the impulsive reactions really do help, at least in learning interesting things. For example, you've made some development with this gift of ours. Something I haven't seen before.
I've been looking into things, yes.
Given the fact that I'm being encouraged to accuse you of being corrupted to the rest of the sect, I'd wager you managed to piss some of them off, which, kudos, Abel. But I imagine that's all besides the point. So, when are you gonna tell me what I'm actually here for? And in that moment, I won't even have you roll. You know Velvet well enough that you can tell she's about to just blurt out what's on her mind.
I gently squeeze her hand.
Let me make a roll.
What, potent?
Self-control. Yep. She seems to straighten her back, and she holds your hand tightly, and then says, "Well, I think it would be nice for the two of you to speak more often. Maybe we can all work together and try and catch up." And she looks to you.
Yes, sort of like a family.
One sec, I need to roll something. Okay. Could you roll me perception empathy?
I presume insightful helps again.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Who wants to take a bet on how many ones this is going to be?
I bet on one. Oh!
Don't
Look at
forget Pelesse.
That's two tens and
he
no
didn't
ones.
need no Pelesse.
Who needs mere Pelesse gods when you have Abel?
Oh, that must have been what I've been forgetting all night.
So, you detect a hint of something in Caroline's expression. Like she just instinctively repressed something in her mind. And while her expression may hide it quite well, thankfully, you don't rely only on what she puts out towards the world. With your aspects, for a fleeting moment, when you say that could be like a family, there is a shift from slight annoyance to what can only be described as a broken heart trying to hold itself together.
I know
And it slowly begins to fade, but it doesn't go away.
No, I've been a very distant parent. In the beginning, it was reasonable.
As far as sires go, you're fine. I've heard horror stories.
I guess what I'm saying here is we should hold on to something, hold on to things that we have right now. Before it's too late. I know that you're desperate to go your own way. But you are my blood. And I do care for you, Caroline.
There is a very noticeable rise in that emotion. It's mixed, conflicted, but it is there. And while she's continuing to hide it, there are some hints that bleed through just a little bit right before she suppresses them again.
And
It
I
is
want
it is
you-
very, very clear that whatever she was taught to believe or at least suppress these emotions, she has been very, very well trained to sort of bottle this stuff up.
And I want you to know that in Velvet and me, you have two people that will be there for you for an eternity.
I have some business to attend to.
Yes,
May I
yes.
go?
It's a lot to take in. I know. Go out, see the world, my child. But do come back.
Yeah.
You are always safe with We are around.
As you finish, she doesn't say anything to interrupt it, but she gets up in the middle of your sentence, almost breaking the pace of it. And as she goes towards the door, she says, "Yeah, thanks for the invite. We'll talk later, Dad." And as she says that, she stops for a moment with the door open, and then just exits and slams the door shut.
Well, that went well, wouldn't you say? I turned to Velvet.
Velvet's mask almost drops as immediately she starts tearing up and holding back sobs as she says, "I'm glad she's still there, then. Talk to whoever you need to. We need to fix this, and if we're going to reach her, we need to reach her now."
Yes. There is still time. We can fix this.
And if we can't, then remember what you promised, okay?
Yes. Although I'm starting to think that it's probably Caroline who needs to see the world the most.
If she goes, she can't go alone. And I'd be the first one they'd ask questions. Yeah, so. Well, it won't come to that. Stay the night?
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah, and as she basically takes both of the cups, basically wiping one of the tears away and trying to keep her composure, she takes the teacups to the sink and begins cleaning. And as she does, you feel almost a nudge in the back of your mind. Almost as if, well, you'd experience it enough by now that you understand when it wants to speak to you. Do you allow it?
Yes.
The whisper rings out in your mind. You almost look at Velvet cleaning up in sort of a hazed hypnosis as the voice talks to you and says, I won't force it upon you. But she doesn't need to suffer. You can just give her to me like I freed you. It's not the same as freedom, but It saves you.
Which voice is that now?
This is the same androgynous, amorphous voice from the creature you've been connected to the most recently. Since you've been connected to this one, you haven't heard the others, at least not nearly as often. There are echoes, but not nearly as often. This one seems to be the dominant one. That's the voice you hear.
And do I understand that the voice is talking about Caroline?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do you mean by give her to?
Understand, Abel. Others would have you chained. I allow you your wings. I counsel, but I do not force my will upon you. I grant you what others have without requiring your loyalty. I can give her the same, but a bind of this magnitude. It persists. If you cannot free her by other means, you can give her to me. Neither of you will be able to break that link, but other links will not be formed. Corruption will not spread.
That is an interesting offer. One which I will have to consider.
It is a last
For now,
resort.
I think perhaps Caroline has not yet earned her wings. Come to think of it, have I?
You have. You have achieved something the others failed. Even Isaac, when I reached out to him. It is your decision. You can give her to me if you have no other options. If you can free her, do so. If you can't, I will be here. And the voice slowly begins to fade, though you can still reach it if you wish.
I will allow a whisper. You are dangerous.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
You are dangerous.
You feel that it lingers for a moment, but it only says, but I am not greedy. And it fades. And as it does, you sort of realize that Velvet is looking to you and saying, Abel, hello.
Oh, yes, dear.
I was saying I don't really have everything set up here yet, but at least the bedroom's ready. Sunproof, at least.
That sounds lovely.
Yep. And as sunrise approaches, and you rest in the coming dawn, we will end tonight's session. And before we leave, just a quick announcement to our viewers. Next week, there may be a pause in episodes. We will attempt to have some things pre-recorded. No guarantees. Odds are there won't be an episode next week, but the week after we will return with the same scheduled time. I hope you have enjoyed, and we'll see you next week in the next episode of Beyond Armageddon. Good night.
May the devil be with you.
May he be indeed.